Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Mark Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. We're back with episode 60. And with me, as always, Mr. Mark Shakespeare. Does that qualify us for his bus pass, or is that 65?
Oh, I think it's 65, mate, innit?
A few more.
I reckon a bit time this season's done, though, we'll have passed it. It's been a while, mate, hasn't it?
It has. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. It's, as we know, life gets in the way, mate, but we keep chipping away, and we're back, aren't we?
We are. And we've got a good one to start with. You want to introduce?
Yes. I'm going to let you pronounce second name, because you're better than me. But yeah, somebody I've been wanting to get on the show for a while. She's been on my radar for a while. One of the busiest girls over the last 12 months or so. And come on then, who is it?
Amy Greatorex.
Well, I'm glad you said it, because I would have said it wrong, Amy, so I'm glad that Chris did say that. I'm terrible with stuff like that, as you know.
The G-Rex herself.
Yeah, she's doing really well, isn't she? I mean, I know she's struggling for a bit of sponsorship as well, so if anyone's out there and they've got a few pound knocking about in the pockets they'd like to get to Amy, I'm sure she'd really appreciate it. I know for a fact you get your money's worth back and more.
Definitely.
She's out every week on these shows, and I know she's just about to get her medicals through, and I'm sure she'll be busy and having a busy summer soon, mate.
Yeah, I hope so. I enjoyed it, and like you said, nice to get our first female fighter on.
Yeah, definitely. That's something we've been trying to do for a while, trying to get a few more out, haven't we? And Amy become available finally on a busy schedule. It was a great interview, and it was brilliant to have her.
Yeah, it were. So, with no further ado, let's get in Amy Greatorex.
Right then, am I bringing us in today instead of you then, mate?
Yeah, why not?
Right then, well, we've got us first. I'm really, really, really honoured, actually. So we've got Amy in today, haven't we? But I'm going to let you pronounce your second name, Amy. Come on.
Greatorex.
Greatorex. I was going to say Greatorex, and if I say Greatorex, you'll say it's not that. I've got it wrong.
Yeah,
so,
we've been pronouncing it right, after all.
After all this time, we have been pronouncing it right, Amy, which is great.
Change.
It's an honour to have you here, Amy, because you're the first pro-female boxer we've had. We've had Laura Rolling on here before, haven't we?
Yeah.
But never a pro-female, and we've been actually trying to get you for a while. I mean, I messaged you, but you ignored me. I don't know how long ago it was, like.
It's not got the charm like I have.
No, well, you see, I didn't even know I messaged you, and I looked you up today, so when you come, I knew what you would look like, even though when I saw her outside it van, I still didn't recognise her. But I said, I've sent her a message before, and she hasn't got back to me, so you've got a black mark against your name, Amy. But we'll let you off, so you go in touch with Chris.
Well, you're still my favourite.
Yeah, well, you are. To be honest, Amy, you are our favourite female away fighter, to be honest, and that is... That's seriously now. There's not many. You're quite local to us, and we get to see you a few times. And you are, if I'm not mistaken, the only female professional boxer in Chesterfield. Is that correct?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
You've been brought up in Chesterfield,
Yeah.
lived there all your life.
Chesterfield, born and bred.
Wow.
So, did you have a boxing career in Chesterfield? Was the amateur gym you went to, or anything like that, or what? Did you have to go to Sheffield all the time? Or
No, I started off in Chesterfield at Spire Boxing Academy. And then obviously got in touch over Facebook when I left there to see if anyone wanted a female boxer, and that's when Gary got in touch, and I ended up going to Sheffield, yeah.
Because you've been there quite a while now, haven't you? And aren't you with Riley's now?
Yeah.
So when you decided you were going to go pro, did you put it out there then on socials that you wanted someone to take you?
It was a case of I'd been training in Chesterfield, and I got told that basically I should try somewhere else. So I put on Facebook, anybody wanting a female boxer, I'm not the best, but I work really hard. And at that point, I'd love to have gone pro, but I didn't think I could. And that's when Gary got in touch with me and said, have I thought about going pro? And I said to him, I think I'm too old, because at that point I had been told I was too old. And he says, well, we'll have you in. We'll see what you like. I went and did a tryout for him, and they offered me straight away to go pro. So, it were all just from that one message on Facebook, thinking that I was just going to go to another amateur gym somewhere, and got turned over. So
it's good. I mean, do you find it different at pro? Do you suit it better, Amy, the amateurs, or?
Yeah.
I mean, when I've seen you at ring a few times, I mean, I find you quite suited to it.
Yeah, I like to pick my shots. Obviously, amateurs very fast paced into it and just whacking wherever. Whereas that never suited me. I probably could have done it, but I didn't like doing it. I pride myself on, like I said, picking the shots and doing that kind of thing. So yeah, pros suit me loads better. And obviously it takes me a few rounds to warm into a fight. So going more than 3 rounds is better suited for me.
Yeah. So, well, before we carry on with these, go into a record a bit, she's quite famous at ring, Scarfe. Remember last time we went to Josh's show and I would went second in for Shelley McDonald in corner?
Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh's last show. Well, there was someone dressed as a fox, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah.
You were there. Oh, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Oh, wow.
She scared Shelley to death.
Shelley that way, yeah.
She was starstruck. So I reckon that you should take a bit of credit for that Fox's win, because Shelley told me, she goes, I didn't know what to do, Miss Mark. I just saw this. I couldn't get on podium to start with, and then next thing I says, I'm just sat there, and this fox comes running up into the ring. So
How'd you land that gig?
I'm friends with Bianca and no one else were doing it. I kind of drew the short straw.
Wow.
But apparently afterwards, one of my friends works in a bar in Sheffield and people were talking about the fox for ages, apparently. So
That's all
I'm
we've
famous.
Star of the show.
that's all me and Shelley talked about after, to be honest, Amy. So it's probably one of the finest times at ring,
Yeah.
lady. That'd take it to victory.
I did say that I'm probably more famous for being a fox than actually being a boxer these days.
Yeah, we'll have to get Scarfe in costume next time, eh? Make him earn his keep.
But now I'll not squeeze into something like that, will I?
I never know, Scarfe, I never know.
Are you doing it again?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Apparently
I
next
think
show,
it's my
if
job
Josh,
now.
if Josh has us back, we know what Fox is now.
Let's see if we can collar you next time.
So I'll not tell the female fighter you're coming. I'll keep it quiet. Give him a surprise. See if they're as shocked as Shelley was, because she was definitely starstruck.
Speaking of Metrodome, though, that was your debut, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we were there.
Yeah.
But what a debut that was, though, to come in, Amy, because we did see you that night, and
That was over 2 years ago.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so when you had this debut, I mean, we were, to be honest with you, when I knew you were fighting, God, I can't pronounce the name. It's one of my favourites.
Viader.
It's Vida.
Vaden Masiakaite, isn't it?
What they call?
Masiakaite?
Yeah,
Is that how you pronounce it?
Masikaite. Well, to me, she's one of the most dangerous, heavy-hitting women on circuit, right? And when we went to that show that night, and I watched you, and you come out, and you were a bit battered and bruised on it, Amy. And it must have been hard for you with being home corner. And if you must have sought a few tickets for that fight, and I suppose you thought you let people down that night, but I knew how good she was. And when I knew you got her as opponent for first, this is no offence to you, but I thought she must be really good if they're putting her in with this girl. And when she bet you, I felt really sorry for you because she's amazing. And as we're doing this interview today, I mean, we're going to put a post out on socials about her later because she's actually on that Clarissa Shields show tonight in America. And that just proves how good it was. So when you look back at that, Amy, now, that first fight, you should be really proud of what you did. You got through that fight, and you never disgrace yourself. And
Oh.
I kept, you not remember me, but I did tap you on the shoulder on the way out and say, don't let this define you. I did say that, and I could tell you were upset. And to start off with such an hard fight, it were only going to get easier as far as I'm concerned for you. Do you know what I mean? Because she's the best out there in that away corner. And a credit to you for getting in there and coming through it. And did it hurt after that? Did it really? How did it feel when you come out on that first fight? And because you wanted to go in at home corner to start with, didn't you? How did it feel when you come out afterwards?
I was gutted.
Yeah.
I did think I'd let everyone down.
I could tell in your face that night.
Yeah.
That's why I gave you a tap on my way out. You must have felt tough.
I did think to myself straight afterwards, I thought, is this for me? But then afterwards, I gained my composure back, I suppose, and thought, actually, yeah, it is for me. That doesn't define me. I had a lot going against me to start off with all the ticket sales and change of opponent, and then, like you say, having someone as good as Vader. So actually, it's probably a really good start for me. And I don't like to go in easy. I've always said to people, I like it hard because then I can prove I'm worth it, if that makes sense.
100%.
So I never want to be handed anything on a plate. I'd rather be in with someone and lose and people talk about it and say, well, actually, she did really well, than go in and batter someone and win and be like, yeah, well, she beat
You'll not
someone.
learn anything from that
No,
either,
exactly,
will you?
yeah.
So really, even you learned heck a lot from that fight. You must have done.
Yeah.
She weren't your original opponent then?
No.
Did she pull out with an hand injury or something like that?
Yeah. The week, it might not even been a week. It might have been like 3 or 4 days. It weren't long before. She'd taken a last minute bout on the weekend before, and I'm sure she said she broke a hand. So yeah, that's how I ended up with Vida.
She's a bugger, isn't she? But yeah, can't not but credit for her. She's an absolute, in a good way, she's a monster.
Yes.
Of this female boxing. And like you said, I think it probably has, looking at this career actually, it probably has set you in good stead that to learn. So when you finished that first fight, then obviously you went away gutted. Did you decide then with Rob that you were going to go away and not sell tickets and just go on the road after that first fight, or did you sell tickets afterwards?
No, we decided to go in the away corner because I struggle to sell tickets. It's too much pressure. Don't get me wrong, I would love to do some home shows. That is my aim at some point. But I wanted to just box. And if that meant going away, then that's what I'd do, because I'm not in it for money, really. You know, I just love to box. I get in there and getting in that ring, I feel free. So it's even, don't take this because obviously I do want paying, but if there were no money on the table and there was still a fight, I'd still love to do it, yeah, because I love it. So
that's this is why we do this, mate, innit? It's not all about, it's about love of the sport, innit, and what we do. And unfortunately, people don't realise what great jobs you guys do at Away Corner. And you're probably one of the most famous now road women out there, to be honest. Going forward, you're always out there. I know you've got your licence coming up soon again, haven't you?
yeah.
So if anyone's out there wants to throw a few quid out to Amy when this goes out, please give her a shout on social, because it all helps. And you don't realise shows can't go without people like Amy. And there's not many females around like this woman who go in, week out. So I'm sure you'd see your money grow tenfold, to be quite honest with you, how many time you're going to see on that show. And I've got a feeling they're going to invite you to this All Sky show, me. I've just got a feeling, Amy. You've got to be on it. You know, when they're filling it up, there's nobody else around apart from you.
Yeah.
I can see you're going to be on that.
What's this?
There's boxers doing on Sky, they're doing an all-female show, aren't they? I can't remember, do you know who's headlining it?
Into the Natasha Jonas,
Correct.
Lauren Price one.
Yes, that's the one. It's going to be an all-female show all night. I think it's first ever time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm expecting someone knocking on Amy's door or giving her a phone call. So I think it could happen, that, mate. Anyway,
When's that happening?
I'm not sure. Is it a couple of months or so? Might be March time.
I think that is in March time, yeah.
But yeah, so after you've gone after that then, Amy, you decide you're going to go on the road. You couldn't have got any tougher than your first fight. I say that again, how hard it was. And it was a pleasure to watch you on your debut. But before we do go on, how did you get your nickname?
Greatorex.
Yeah.
Because no one can say my surname.
It's good though.
It's good, isn't it?
It's good, Greatorex.
You know what, Ray? That I might have a brain telling me because I have to pronounce your name right, and I never get no one's name right. So, but I should just call you Amy Greatorex, shouldn't
Greatorex,
I? From
yeah.
start.
Yeah, it actually started when I used to work at a nursery. My colleagues used to just call me Greatorex. And then it carried on like that, and I actually used it as my name for my shorts in amateurs because Greatorex is quite long, isn't it, to fit on shorts, so I changed it to Greatorex. And I wasn't going to use it for professionals, but then my coach actually announced on Facebook, Amy Greatorex, so it kind of stuck.
I think it's a good one. Scarfe loves a nickname, doesn't
I
you, mate?
like a good nickname.
And especially if it's like football shirts, you pay for every you pay by the letter. Greatorex are a lot cheaper. So everybody's happy, aren't they?
Yeah.
So obviously you moved on from your debut then, and then you went in with Chelsea Arnell, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, what happened? How do you find about that? Find it a bit easier in your first fight?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What a surprise.
Yep.
What can you remember much about that fight, Amy, or how were you feeling into that after you lost your first one? Were you a bit more relaxed knowing that you have to sell tickets and just turning up? Do you feel more at ease?
Yes, I did. And also, by that time, I'd kind of fell into my own style. So for my debut, I was still being made to do the whole upright, amateur style boxing, and that doesn't suit me at all. I mean, a lot of people always comment, oh, why has she got her hands down? Because that's actually how I box better. I move better. If I've got my arms up, I'm stiff. If I've got them flowing, I can move about. So going into that fight, I was a bit more confident because we'd found that out and obviously been able to practice it a bit more. And obviously you didn't have the eyes on you. No one were watching really. I think it was streamed on YouTube, but I didn't know about that. So I just went in there and did my thing. And
Steady night's work for you?
Yeah.
Easy money?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go then. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, Amy. Well done. So you see, from that, you've gone from your worst, you've come out, and you come in that second fight and you think, this is for me again. You must have felt a bit more fresh thinking, I'm on the road now, no ticket pressure. I enjoyed that. I'm doing my own thing. So, yeah. So then obviously there's a girl who you fought twice. I want to talk about the first fight, who gets quite famously around socials. You fought Becky Ferguson, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you fought her twice. We'll talk about the first one. Was it a 4-rounder that? Or?
Yeah, it was just 4-rounder.
How did that come about then? Because she's I find her like she's got quite a bit of a following as Becky. Did you sell many tickets on that night?
We got told that she hadn't, but it was very loud for her, so I presume she actually did. And I think, to be honest, I don't actually know why it was only a 4-rounder, because she generally does a lot more than that, doesn't she?
That's when I saw the fight here. You got her in your third fight, and I thought, I'm sure it was only a 4-rounder the first time you met her. And usually she does, from what I gather, sell quite a few tickets. And I think she's one who's she was quite biggish, wasn't she?
Yeah.
At the time, and she's quite known well on social that she's lost a load of weight to get down to a certain fight. So what did you think of her in ring then?
She's tough. Yeah.
That's exactly how I thought you'd mention it.
Yeah. Obviously she's southpaw, isn't she? I hate fighting southpaws.
Leave us alone. We're a dying breed.
Awkward, that's what they are.
Awkward. Yeah, for all you get called
very awkward. But she's lovely. I've got no bad word to say against her. She's lovely. But obviously you put that aside, don't you, for in ring? So
of course.
It was a war.
I'm going to watch that fight, I think, to be honest. I'm sure that'll be on YouTube, that fight. But I thought, again, that was another tough fight for you. I mean, with Becky, and that's only a third fight.
Yeah.
So credit to you for that, Amy, as well. So moving on to that, the last one, another one, Cheyenne 02 gets mentioned a few times as well. Now, I'm just going to say, I bet that was a tough night for you.
Yeah.
Because she gets a heck of a lot of mention. You were 5-0 at the time when you fought her, didn't it? Wasn't she?
5-0.
It were a debut.
Yeah, she's 5-0, sorry, at the moment.
Yeah.
And she's making a lot of waves. And again, another tough fight, Amy.
Yeah.
So how do you find that one?
Tough. Especially because she liked to use her head a lot.
Did she?
Yeah. That was the thing that hurt quite a bit in that. Like, could take the punches, but she kept headbutting me. And I weren't used to that at that point. But she's talented, I think. Yeah, she's very good. I enjoyed it though.
Yeah.
I like a challenge, and it was definitely a challenge. And we was actually supposed to fight in the amateurs, but she got pulled for that one. I don't know why. So it never actually happened. So it's like we just brought it along a bit, didn't we? And obviously it was her debut. She's got a big following. I knew it was going to be a tough night. Obviously she's with Frankie Gavin, who has a lot of input with her. And actually afterwards, he came and went, you're a tough lady, you are. I don't think they expected me to last the whole of the fight, but I did.
Didn't stop you?
No.
And like you said, she's making a few waves in the background. I won't say like she's, high on the Sky list or big shows, but when you go to some shows, she does get mentioned with females about that. And again, I think she's one to watch out for, and one you'll look back on in your career and think, I went distance with her.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. Another one to have on your record, definitely. So after that, I'm buzzing now because we've got a win to talk about.
Yeah.
I love a win. I don't get many to talk about, so I always have to. So as usual in my paperwork, I've got a big star at signing it, Amy, because it's buzzing in it. Sangita Birthday, was it?
Yeah.
So, where was that? I didn't look.
Harrow.
Harrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've actually put here, top of the bill, Harrow. What an idiot I am. Were you top of the bill that night?
I think we were,
I think you were. So I did look actually.
Yeah,
at
because
that.
she's the WBC Indian champion.
Oh, right then. But we'll read into that I wanted. But to get a win there, when I saw it, because I put in out top of the bill Arrow, to beat somebody like that when you're top of the bill, it takes some doing. So it must have been, for me and Gavin, a dominant performance.
Yeah.
A points victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it must have been a dominant performance because to get a win in someone's backyard who's topping the bill, who's probably sold a few tickets, you must have done a number on it, Amy.
Yeah.
How did that feel for you?
It were amazing. They weren't happy about it, obviously. We had a bit of a to-do.
Did you afterwards or?
Well, I was in the ring having photos and the promoter came over and was slamming his hands on ring going, get her out my ring.
Oh.
So, and then we had to be escorted out for basically our own safety, I think.
Chucked his tyres well and truly hard at Prem then.
Yeah, they really didn't like it.
We've had a few stories like that, haven't we, over the years?
Sad, really.
Yeah, it's sad, really. End of the day, sometimes if you're not good enough, you're there to do a job, and if they're not good enough, it's not going to benefit them for you just to dance around for someone to seriously hurt them down the line. So really, you've done her a favour, right? You've dominated a bit, sounds of it. If you're top at bill and you've gone there and got a win on top at bill, you've obviously done something right.
Yeah.
And she needs to go away and look at herself, doesn't she? And promoter does. I mean, I'm not slagging her off, but if you've gone there and done that, you've done a number on her and you deserve the win. So it's tough shit, really. I don't swear very much at all, but I'm sick of it when you get these promoters coming in and getting monk on because the fighter's lost. You know what I mean? You've done a number, and they should be proud, and they should be good to you and saying, respect to you for what you've just done tonight. We'll go away and we'll learn from that. And it's their job to go and do that. So, well done for that, Amy.
Thank you.
I'm glad I've had a win to talk about because I was really happy about that when I saw that. Love.
Did phone stop ringing? A couple of
I
weeks?
think he did go a bit quiet for a bit, yeah.
Well, it's like, I can imagine, it's funny that, isn't it? Usually they might let you have one win, but obviously they must have said, up, she's gone and turned somebody over on top of Bill here. Nice cross there at Saudi name for a month.
Yeah.
We all know how it works.
How often were you fighting around this time?
It's weird because obviously I don't do it week in, week out. I get like a cluster, so I'll have like 3 or 4 week after week and then it'll go really quiet for a bit.
Oh, right.
But to be fair, that suits me because I'm not going in to walk people around really. I go in and put my all in. Like I like a bit of a war, so
Fair play.
I like to have a bit of a rest.
So sometimes it's good to have that few weeks off, innit? It gives you time to relax and get your muscles and your poor head if you're going in for a big hammering. Give you time to get your looks back. It's nice to have them, really, innit, Scarfe?
Oh, no.
Well, we're not going to go into that, but I've heard a few about these OnlyFans and these boxes. I'm quite, Jesus Christ. I never knew it existed. I need to get back in 21st century.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No. Well, moving on from that. And then after that, you went in again. You lost by TKO, it said, against Ellie Halliwell, who is very, very, very well known again and is being talked about quite a lot.
Yeah.
How did that come about, the stoppage? Was it on your feet or?
I think it was a bit of a soft stoppage.
Yeah.
I was absolutely fine. I basically got stuck in corner.
Yes.
And I didn't know how to get out of it. There were ropes on one side of me. The ref was on the other and she was in front of me. And I think because the ref hadn't seen me fight before, he didn't know just how strong I was.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. But because I'm one for playing by the rules, I was like, well, I can't go left and I can't touch the ref. So I'm just going to have to keep my arms up.
Yeah.
But then obviously he stopped it. So next time I'd just barge him out way.
What do you think to Ellie?
She's good. She's strong. I had people saying she wasn't that strong beforehand.
Yeah.
But obviously you take it with a pinch of salt because she was. And obviously it's another southpaw, isn't it?
Well, we are the best. We always have been. We always known that.
She's got a very long range to her as well. And she's fast.
So that was your first stoppage. Well, not your first stoppage. Obviously. Your first time you got stopped. Did it hurt you at all, or we just thought, oh, it's one of them things. We'll carry on and come back in 28 days.
I think I was frustrated more than anything.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I could have carried on. Obviously, that's hindsight, innit? So I was a bit frustrated with that. And I think some of her fans were a bit not very nice. I know my sister nearly got into an argument with one of them because they were being a bit derogatory about me. And like we always say, if it's not for us, they wouldn't have a fight, would they?
Exactly.
And I think people get a bit over the top when they're watching fights, don't they? So
I certainly do.
They don't see it properly. So, you know, that annoyed me a bit, but you have to take, like I said, take it with a pinch of salt, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And to do what you do, Amy, you got to be thick-skinned in your job in a away corner. And like you said, we've had stories in the past where people's had pints, not pardon again with swearing and vulgarity, but we've had people saying they've had pints of piss thrown at them and stuff on the way into the ring and that, you know, when they've been to certain places. And it's just not nice, is it?
No.
And you've just said it there less than a minute ago. We are the inter-show.
Yeah.
And you've gone in there with a quality opponent. You don't need that shit.
No.
And, you know, it must have been tough for you, that, but it's no disgrace to be stopped by Ellie, because I think we'll see a lot more of her again in future.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, like virtually everyone on this record, to be quite honest, Amy, you'll look back in a few years' time and think, you know what, I want to be some good fighters, me. And I can just tell by when I look at your record, it's a good resume you've got here. You should be very proud of it. And I was glad to get you in. So you went through that, and then you went back in with Becky. Was that in Stoke-on-Trent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a Midlands area title, that?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
You couldn't have won that, could you? Are you in Midlands area? You
yeah,
could have
Chesterfield's Midlands.
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were Central area. We had a question about this. Maybe you can enlighten us a bit more, right? We get said, where does Central area cover? And where does the Midlands cover? You see, and you've just done it there, because I said the Central area was Chesterfield as well, going towards Derbyshire, and then it went to the Midlands. But obviously now you've just said that, you've corrected me, so you're the Midlands then.
Yeah, we're East Midlands.
Yeah.
But we've got a Sheffield postcode.
That's why I put you in, when someone asked, that's why I put you in the Central area.
Yeah.
But obviously it is like, so, but that must have been a good call you got, you know, it must have thought, you know, that, again, like a broken record, it's my favourite title. The Midlands areas and Central area, it's something that your guys can all aim for, and you're all good enough to win at some point.
Yeah. And
I never rule it out. I mean, like you said, if you in future get the chance to fight at home once in your career, and there's some on title, go and take it and take that belt home with you. It's a great belt to have, and I think you could. Honestly, I think you could do it, love.
Yeah.
So when you went into that, then did you fancy it after you had been in with a 4 round? You think I can do this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you get a call early, or did you get a bit of notice for it?
Yeah, I think it were about, I think I had about at least 10 weeks.
Oh, yeah, so you had a good
Sure,
count then.
yeah. To be honest, I think both of us went in thinking that the other one were going to proper go for it. Mm-hmm. So that first couple of rounds were a bit steady, and I think we were both like, this is a bit weird.
Waiting for other one to make a move.
Yeah,
like, yeah,
basically. So it were a lot slower paced than either of us are used to. And I remember coming out of the fight being like, that wasn't what I were expecting at all. I really thought she were proper going to go all out from the first bell.
Well, you see, as an outsider looking in at that fight for both of you, there must have been pressure on you both for that. You're a big title for you. You know what I mean? We're only your, 7th fight. You know, I take it we're a big crowd there as well that night.
Yeah, it were quite busy. It was
usually,
at the
I'm not
Stoke
saying
ground.
a huge job, but usually when she's on at Stoke-on-Trent, they usually have a decent show on, don't they?
Yeah.
And a few there. So maybe even though you didn't think of that, maybe a few nerves got part in as well, both in you as well. Do you know what I mean? Because it was a big night for you both. So you lost that on points then. So you come out of there thinking, just didn't know what to do really then? You thought, this was going to happen, that was going to happen. It didn't really, did it?
No, yeah. It were a lot, like I said, a lot slower pace than what I was expecting. And maybe, I should have upped the pace a bit, but it was my first 10 rounder, so, you try and pace yourself out a bit, don't you? Make sure you can last the full 10 rounds.
Would you do 10 rounds regularly if you could now? Would you find it easier at 10 rounds? Or do you prefer 4s?
I don't like 4s at all.
Yeah. You've always said you're a slow starter, aren't you?
Yeah, 6 and up, yeah.
6 and up.
I actually found that 10 round fight, not easy, but the pace of it was quite easy. Obviously, if someone was going to come out and hammer it, I might turn around and go, I don't like 10 round fights. But yeah, I quite liked it.
I don't think there's many men or women who can do 10 rounds full on for 10, honestly, not unless you're seriously fit. So it seems you must be quite fit, like you say. You do a lot of running on your treadmills, though, don't you, as well?
I walk on my treadmill, a lot.
Walk on your treadmill for miles.
Yeah, I do. I'm on it about 5-6 hours a day. Yeah.
Wow. You do that while you're watching telly, then?
Watching telly, doing my work, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been known to do my nails on my treadmill.
Well,
That's a talent.
it is a talent, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I could do 2 things at once.
But yeah, so you must, like I said, if you're telling me you prefer 6 and up, you must be fit.
Yeah.
For what you're doing. So obviously, when I said you've been in with 10 round Rebecca, I thought if you're at Midlands title level, then there's something there for you, Amy, in future. And you got through that, and then you went on to fight Louise Orton after that, and you lost on points with that as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember much about that fight?
That was a really good fight, to be fair. She is strong.
Yeah.
I think she weighed in heavier than me on the day.
Yeah.
It were a good experience, that one. It was like big haul on small haul. Really good event. She caught me with some really good shots, but I think I did catch her with some good ones as well.
Yeah.
So I think it was an entertaining fight.
Did you enjoy that?
I did, yeah.
I can imagine you did. Your kind of fight then. You enjoyed a bit. Did you have any scars afterwards? Any black eyes or lumps or after, or just...
I think I might have had a little bit of a bruised ear or so. I don't think I had much, yeah. Now, touch wood, nowadays I tend to barely come out with anything. Obviously that first fight I had a nice big lump and bruise.
we're not going to talk... I'm not talking about that first fight anymore, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, you liked a bit... I know you like a bit of a scrap, love, but you went in after that with someone who I've seen a couple of times, and I find her really scary to look at and a bit mean, is... You fought Rowan Dean, didn't you?
Yeah.
She looks tough and she looks mean. Is she like that?
Didn't really talk to her much, and the fight, it were another tough one, but a good one. I mean, it's the first time my hair's come out, so she must have roughed me up a little bit. Wow. Yeah, because my corner had to argue with him that they weren't going to cut my hair off.
Right.
That's all I was bothered about. Do not cut my hair. But yeah, it were another good fight, I think. And that was just 2 days after my birthday, so I had to save myself for that one.
No birthday cake allowed?
No.
Shocking. Do you like a drink and all, Amy, or...?
I tend to not drink, but I do... If I am going to drink, I drink a lot, yeah. That's why I don't.
That'll be all right with Scarfe and Anita, then. That'll be spot on. You see, that rowing, not long ago, she stopped Kira Carter.
Yeah.
Which not many do, because I thought Kira's a bit like you as well. She's tough, not many stop her, and she's out when she can be busy like you. And when I knew that, obviously, that she stopped her as well, I think she got tattoos all over her as well. That yeah. I'm not going to mess with Rona, I tell you. She's she looks tough and mean anyway. But another one, she didn't stop you though, did she, love?
No.
But then this must have been an experience for you. Scarfe, you'll say, "Oh yeah." You went to Sheffield, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you fought Stevie Levy, didn't you?
Yeah.
Mm.
When that fight got announced, I thought that was always going to be a tough one for you, because she was really, really bigging herself up, and that were a big, big night, that was.
Yeah.
I knew it was, and I thought, when I looked till got, and it says, "Oh, Amy's got her," I thought, "Oh, shit. Amy's got her on that night." So I hope we got bloody paid well for that night, because she deserved it. But she's just crazy, isn't she?
Yeah.
I bet she seems a lovely, great girl.
Yeah, she is.
But I can imagine she's got a fierce side to her. And, how did you feel on that night? Because she likes to sell some tickets. She's always got atmosphere, brings the kids in with her and that. Did it phase you anything on that day? You just go into this normal fight and thought, let's just do this, or?
To be honest, I went into that fight and it's probably the only one where I wasn't on it 100%. There was a lot of stuff going off in the background. And I'm not using that as an excuse. It's just, I weren't myself.
Yeah.
But I still went in and tried to give my all. I wasn't, it's another case of, I'm walking to the ring and all the fans were booing.
Yeah.
And I hate that. And like, I'm in corner and I've got one of her fans doing gestures at me and stuff. And I just think, why do that? Again, if it weren't for us, they wouldn't have a fight. Like,
Exactly.
No need to be disrespectful. Is
no.
there?
And that probably did get to me that night. The first 4 rounds, I think it were, I don't think my head was in it. But then I did start to pick up after that. I wasn't happy with the stoppage, but I'm never going to be happy with the stoppage, am I? So
No. Were it a fair stoppage, do you think? Or?
I don't think so. I think if they were going to stop it, he should have stopped it earlier on.
Yeah.
When he stopped it, I was attacking. I was going forward and I was throwing shots. And I felt I was coming on strong. And a lot of people that I've spoke to and my team and friends have spoken to that were there have said the same thing. Why was it stopped then?
But that were always going to be a big night for Stevie that night. It was being built up. And like you said, you're only human if something like that got to you, Amy, on that night. Because I knew she had a big fan base down there and she'd based a camp up in Barnsley and we're at Manor Boxing Gym and that. So you had everything against you that night. So if it didn't affect you, you wouldn't be human, Amy, to be quite honest. And you should be proud of what you did that night because it were always going to be against you that.
Yeah.
And maybe the stoppage were premature, but maybe just because of that night and they want to make it big for her.
Yeah.
You were just there, unfortunately. But again, if it weren't for you, there wouldn't have been that victory for the other because she wouldn't have been fighting. So you don't need that. I've swore 3 times. You don't need that shit, right? Be respectful of your opponent, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, these people who sit back there and get this abuse out, they probably never put a pair of gloves on in their life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I got one. I were at the one that stands out for me is out that Callum Simpson weighed in last year when he were in Barnsley, and this guy was giving Joe Laws some absolute hammer, abuse, and I just thought, why are you doing that? There's no need, And what I didn't realise is that as soon as Joe Laws had gone on the scales, he went round the back of the stage at the weigh-in and he come round and he grabbed this kid. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And he grabbed him and says, come on then, I've put it on your toes now, what are you going to do? And that kid went, oh no, please, don't do that in front of my child, please. And he says, you've just been giving me absolute hammer. And again, when you confront these fools,
Yeah.
their arse always falls out.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about the sport, so
They're not brightest, are they?
just stick to buying a ticket and drinking your ale and just enjoy your night.
That you've just hit the nail on the head, though, isn't it? It's when alcohol's involved, then they think they can do what they want and that they know what they're talking about.
And they're all world champions, aren't they?
Yeah.
How many times have I said to you? Because when he used to take me, I'd never had any interest in it. I just went because I was going with him. And I'd go to the bar, didn't I, more often than not. I come back, I'll be like, everybody, after 3 pints, they all think they're Rocky.
Yeah.
And it's kicking off down in the and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm trying to get a drink.
I mean, my worst one when we were in Hamburg for a stag do and it was Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. And we stayed up till about 4 or 5 morning. We must have been, well, I'm not a drinker, but I stayed up with him somehow that night. And the amount of people were just fighting on that night because they're like they were lining people up and then they ended up being real scraps. And I'm thinking, it's stupid, isn't it, when alcohol gets involved and stuff.
I've been to a few pro fights where there has been scraps in the crowd and it's ridiculous. Even amateur shows I've been to, there's been scraps in crowd. Why? Like, just go and watch what you're supposed to be watching and clap and,
just enjoy the night, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's not everyone's getting punched in the face, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, even though sometimes they're not getting punched in the face because they think they're Rocky, don't they? But yeah, it were always going to be a tough night for you, that moving on from that one. But then obviously went in with Ellis Tierney after that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you find that a bit more easier?
I think it's pronounced Eilish.
Ailish Teely.
Eilish.
Ailish, yeah.
Is it Eilish?
Oh, Eilish or Eilish. I'm
I know
rubbish with
somebody
names.
name was spelled like that, so I saw it earlier.
What do you pronounce it as?
Ailish.
I'm going to pronounce it Ailish because he's got bigger brains than me. So what was that fight like then, Amy?
I enjoyed that one as well, yeah.
You enjoy them all the way, Amy.
I do, yeah, I do.
You love them.
I love a scrap.
You're bred to do it. It's in your blood.
She's definitely, nickname's Tornado, isn't it? And,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Good name.
And she is, if you can keep her at range, you're all right. It's when she gets in, she does let her hands go and she's quite fast, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it's easier said than done to keep off, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so you got through that okay, and we come to your last fight. Because I'm sure we'll get you back in again, Amy, at some point, because I think your last fight were with Jane Bard. Oh, God.
Let's have a look.
Scarfe pronounced it. I'm thick.
Oh, we are writing.
My writing's shocking.
Jane Bardaskas.
Anyway.
Badauskas, I think.
Badauskas, yes.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Jane.
Sorry, Jane. I apologise.
We do this a lot. It's a regular thing.
It is. It's my fault. I need a better host, to be quite honest. So that was your last fight. Then how did you find that one then?
That was a last minute one.
Yes.
I've actually sparred Jane quite a few times. I think it was almost done as a favour, but, I like a good fight. Went into it, and I will hold my hands up and say the first 2 rounds, my head wasn't in it. And I were actually thinking, I might just quit. Can't be bothered. But then I went back to corner and something clicked, like a switch had been flicked. And I went back out, and I think it's probably one of the best I've fought.
Yeah.
Rocked her twice.
Did you?
Yeah. Quite a few times while I were hitting her in those last 4 rounds, she was shaking her head at me. I don't think she knew what to do with me in those 4 rounds, really. Obviously, I didn't get the decision. And I think I would have been happy with a draw.
Do you think you deserved a draw on that?
At least, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's 6 rounds, that.
Yes, it was.
So obviously you said you started off a bit slow, but from the 3rd onwards you thought you got into your rhythm and you were liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how do you find like out travelling and stuff? Because I know, if it's a long journey, it's a long day, and you're only there for so long, and then you're travelling back. Who do you travel with mostly?
It's usually my manager and my coach.
Yeah.
I know my coach always tries to get if he can, but it depends on his work schedule. But my manager's always there.
Where's your manager, Amy?
Rob Riley.
Yeah.
And I think we're quite a close team, so.
I think they all are quite close at Riley's, aren't they?
Yeah.
I imagine it's one of the funniest gyms around. I bet there's a good crack around there. I bet it's always fun.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And you settle there as well, aren't you? And they look after you. And
who else is down there with you? Other boxers we might know?
Other boxers.
Well, I know Perry's there.
Oh, yeah. When's he packed in?
He just packed in now, yeah.
We've got Bianca Johnson, who just had her debut, which we spoke about. Nicola Hopewell. Then we've got quite a few people that are about to do the debuts as well. So we've got quite a good stable at the moment.
Yeah, it's buzzing down there at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever get your own show on it, anything down there? Do you think they'll ever get their own shows?
I think
it could be something you could look at in future. Because like you said there, I know there were a couple, 2 or 3 decent ones there, including yourself. And now you've just said that you've got a few making the debuts as well. It could be something to be good for you to have your own show at some point if you could arrange that.
Yeah, and they are, like I say, building a really good stable. So, if they can get their own shows going, then I think there'll be a force to...
Just let Perry shout his head off. He'll sell the show on his own, won't he? So what's your ambitions going forward then, Amy? You've got your scans coming up soon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Touchwood all going well, that'll get paid for and get done. I always mention this. If I don't, Chris will mention it anyway. Have you got any ambitions going forward, what you want to achieve, or are you just going to take it one fight at a time?
I like to take things one fight at a time. Because if I go too far ahead, then I never look at what's in front of me, and that's when you end up tripping yourself up, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'd love to go as far as I can. that's my ambition. Make a name for myself in boxing.
You already have, Amy.
Do what I can with the time that I've got, because, you know, I am getting on a bit. So I haven't got as long in boxing as some of the others. So it's kind of that fine line between picking the right fights, but also getting the experience.
Yeah. Well, you've got a good team around you there as well who will help you out on that, and they'll look after you, and they'll know what's right and what's wrong for you.
Yeah.
And my dream for you, Amy, is I'd love it. I mean, it might not happen, and it's a long way away. I'd love to see you get to 50 and we could celebrate it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a long way away, and that's a long couple, you know, take it a fight at a time.
Yeah.
And let's just see how you go. And 38, you've still got time. As long as you're fit, I can tell you're keeping in shape. You know what I mean? The world's your oyster for a couple of years yet, love.
Yeah.
So my dream for you is I'd love you to get close to 50. But if that don't happen, who cares?
Yeah.
I think you made a great start in your career. It's been a pleasure having you on, Amy. And it's been a pleasure to having a first female professional on NT.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming, love. We look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you. Brilliant.
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.